Hey kids, today we're talking about one of the most famous stories in the Bible.
It's about a young man who stood up for God even when everyone was against him.
His name was Daniel. He was one of God's people, and he was living in a foreign country ruled by King Darius.
He was smart and strong, probably good looking.
Probably. Look at me.
But the most important thing about him was that he loved God, and God was with him.
Because of that, Daniel became super successful.
So successful that King Darius put him in charge of everything.
And that's where the story gets interesting.
A bunch of the king's men got jealous at Daniel, so they made a plan to take him down.
They knew that Daniel would never break the rules, so they had to find a way to change them.
They convinced the king to make a rule that no one could pray to God anymore.
Daniel followed the rules, except the ones that went against God. Let's think about this in our lives. When your teacher says no talking, do you keep talking? Or when she says clean up your area, do you leave it messy? I hope not.
But what if one day they said you weren't allowed to pray anymore?
What would you do then? Well, that's the situation that Daniel was in.
He had a tough decision to make, but he decided to obey God instead of man.
But when Daniel learned that the law had been signed, he went home and knelt down, as usual, in his upstairs room, with his windows open towards Jerusalem. He prayed 3 times a day, just as he had always done, giving thanks to his God.
Daniel made the right choice, but sometimes bad things happen even when you make the right choices.
Daniel got thrown to the lions, even though he did nothing wrong. Because Daniel broke the law and kept praying, he got thrown into the lion's den. I bet that was pretty scary.
Now, I don't know about you, but my school doesn't throw me into a lion's den every time I pray.
But a mean kid might point fingers at you for praying at lunch.
And that can feel just as scary as staring down a lion.
But Daniel did it, and so can you. God stood with Daniel among the lions. Even though Daniel was in the den surrounded by lions, they didn't eat him.
They didn't attack him or anything because God protected him.
Memory verse! Not a scratch was found on Daniel, for he had trusted in his God.
That day, Daniel showed everyone how powerful God is.
So kids, take a lesson from Daniel.
Follow the rules, but most importantly, follow God.